we present I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, a panel game. Starring the ludicrous, the very silly Tim Brooke-Taylor, Graeme Garden, Kendall and Bill Oddie, with Dave Lee at the pianoforte and Humphrey Lyttelton in the chair. I thank you.
And thank you, too. Hello and welcome to an unlikely panel game in which the four contestants are invited to make utter fools of themselves, for which I shall give them points, and then we can all take the money and go home.
Yes.
In the unlikely event of them giving us any money. The two teams are, on my left, Graeme Garden and Kendall.
Yes.
Hooray.
First, there's Tim Brooke-Taylor and Bill Oddie.
So far, so good.
I shall be explaining the rules as we go on, which won't make very much difference. So, right, seconds away, round one. Round one, using the word in the widest possible sense, is a musical round. Each team has the words of a well-known song, which I'm going to ask them to sing to the wrong tune.
I can't sing them to the right tune.
So, first of all, Graeme and Joe will sing the words of Three Blind Mice, which have just been handed to them, and they're going to sing them, please, to the tune of Old Man River.
Now, three blind mice, three blind mice, see how they run, see
I shall be adjudicating on pitching and diction and so on later on, but now, Tim and Bill, your words.
Yes.
Sing a song of sixpence, sung please to the tune of These Foolish Things.
Sing a song of sixpence, a bucket full of rye, or 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. And when the pie was open, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish? To set before the king. The king was in his counting house.
What was he doing?
Counting out his money. The queen was in the parlor.
Eating bread and honey.
Eat that bread, honey.
The maid was in the garden.
Maid was in the garden.
Hanging out the clue.
I'm glad that's all she was doing. Down came the blackbird and pecked off and all. We'll have that again.
I have to award marks for that. I'm inclined to award the highest marks to Joe and Graeme because theirs was the shortest. But in fact, Tim and Bill brought the audience to the verge of tears with their interpretation. So they get 2 marks, and Joe and Graeme get 1 for that. Right, let's go on to round 2. In front of each team, we're now going to put a piece of dialogue, which I'm going to ask them to read in an accent, which I shall give them in a moment, and they don't know anything about. Marks here will be awarded for authenticity of accent as well as dramatic interpretation. Well, this time let's start with Bill and Tim. Bill and Tim, would you please read your extract from Dr. Finley's case book in a German accent?
Janet?
Janet.
Quick sex change.
He's Janet.
Guten Morgen, Herr Dr. Cameron.
Good morning, Janet.
kipper with your breakfast of a new?
Hey, Janet, I will.
And a wee cup of tea.
Okay. It's better to come.
Oh, no, isn't it? That was a well-known catchphrase, sometimes rendered. Anyway, and where's yon Dr. Finlay this morning? He's out on his room. Out on his runs is here. Out on his runs. Dr. Cameron, and what's wrong with...
The wee bottle.
Ich sehr sorry. Aber ich wieder again. I'm cheap love. I'm Dr. Cameron, and what's wrong? And what's wrong with me?
The wee tatty bottle.
See that again.
Now, Joe and Graeme, your turn. A rendering of Till Death Do Us Part, which are being given now. And we'd like you to interpret that in Chinese, please.
You play the wife.
Very well.
Casting.
Hi,
How
give us a quid out of housekeeping. I'm going down to the buzzer.
I don't think I've got a quid left.
You ain't got a quid? Ain't got one?
Special hall.
Go down, Bennett. What have you spent it on, you silly old moo?
I have only one mark to allot for this one. I'm going to dock Bill and Tim for making an oblique reference to another program which I wasn't on. Joe and Graeme have the one mark there. On to round 3, another musical round. I'm going to ask the two teams to sing a song for us. And Joe and Graeme, your song is The Sound of Music. And Bill and Tim, I want you to give them an animal to sing it in.
We choose sheep. One, two, three.
There was mutton wrong with that. And now they will sing, I saw 3 sheep come sailing by.
We'll hurriedly move on now to Bill and Tim. Your song is Hello Dolly. Joe and Graeme, an animal, please.
We choose chickens.
You do. What does it mean?
I'm going to award a danger point for that one to Bill and Tim. If you were here in the audience, you'd know why. They practically choked themselves to death. Round 4, and here the two teams challenge each other. Bill and Tim have prepared an unlikely situation for Joe and Graeme, who will have to improvise a scene around it for exactly 2 minutes, or until I can stand it no longer. I shall bring the scene to an end with this noise on a machine with which I hope also to beat Mrs. Mary Whitehouse to the draw. Bill and Tim, will you give Joe and Graeme a scene, a cast,
Yeah.
and 3 props?
Yes, with the best luck. The place, scene, is an elocution class.
An elocution class. And the characters are a sports commentator. Who shall be nameless. And frequently is. And a dumb blob.
Hey! I'm speechless.
And the 3 objects are a sticking plaster, a Liberty bodice.
And a rubber duck.
It means a rubber duck.
Right, John Graeme, the scene is an elocution class, the cast a sports commentator and a dumb blonde, and the 3 things which you have to bring into your improvised sketch are a sticking plaster, a Liberty bodice, and a rubber duck. And while you're thinking about that, here's Dave Lee to set the musical scene.
From Hunslet and said, "Tell quite that with the old for an elocution lesson." Now, there, Mrs. Boyd, you see, I want you to help me to speak better.
I thought you wanted me.
No, you missed a great game with Wigan. The first try in the 5th minute of the second half, but I digress. I have come for an elocution lesson, that will be told, but I don't want to be a newsreader.
Well, I thought you were going to teach me a thing.
No, I've done a job reading the news for Great Britain on the Eurovision News Contest.
We'll start with, say after me, sticking plaster.
Steel plaster.
And Liberty bodice and rubber duck.
Well, with a certain amount of cheating, they just managed to get in their 3 props into that one. So before I judge on that one, let's go over to the other side, and it's your turn, Joe and Graeme, to give Bill and Tim a situation. So, Joe and Graeme, your scene, cast, and props, please.
The scene is a TV chat show in which the host is interviewing Long John Silver, mentioning
A kangaroo
nude ladies.
and a tin opener.
Here's the scene, then, a TV chat show in which the host is interviewing Long John Silver, and the 3 things that you've got to bring into this sketch, if possible, before it ends, are kangaroo,
Bring him in up.
nude ladies, and a tin opener.
Hello, super wonderful, absolutely great to see you. No, please keep applauding. No, I'm marvellous. And hello, wonderful. I've got a lovely. I am super. No, I've got some wonderful guests tonight. I've got Julie Felix, but not on the show. There are several great guests. First of all, I'd like to introduce you. God, I'm rich. No. Thank you. American audiences are much nicer, thank you. I'd just like to say, give a big introduction to Mr. Where are my notes? Where's that researcher? Shoot that researcher. He's done all the work. Shoot him. Now, I'd like to introduce that wonderful, warm human being, Mr. Long John Silver.
Good evening. I am Long John Silver. I know I may not look like Long John Silver. In fact, I have 2 legs. I know that isn't the normal Long John Silver, but if you like, I'll make it look a bit more authentic. Hang on a minute. Have you got that saw? Thank you. Jim Black. Tis the showing off. Tis the showing off of the legs gives you the funny voice.
See?
Oh dear, I think I've sawn off too much. Never mind. More than the leg I sawed off.
Simple, Mr. Silver. Or can I call you Long or John? Or Blackjack or just...
Call me Long Johns. My father worked in underpants. Never mind.
And it was a messy mate. Now, thank you, Long John, and I'd like to ask you why you've got that kangaroo on your shoulder. And the next thing I'd like to ask you is...
No kangaroo. Tis a parrot and he's hopping mad.
Yes, I'm sorry. Now, Mr. Silver, I'd like to ask you, on a desert island, do you see many nude ladies reaching out?
Stop it. I think we're being stopped.
He's unstoppable, you know that.
You reach the end of your 2 minutes. 3 marks for characterization, -2 marks for not getting any of your words in, and minus another one for total insubordination. So she used to be a dumb blonde at the very end of her sketch and had to rush her a little bit to Joe and Graeme. And we have now round 5, which is the familiar word association game in reverse. I'm going to give each team in turn a word to start them off, and they must come up with a word which has nothing whatever to do with it. And what's more, they must keep coming up with unconnected words in rotation, either until we all fall asleep or until the other team challenges them, in which case the other team has to prove a connection between the words. We have a hyphenated word coming up first, which may be cheating a little bit, but never mind. It goes to Joe Kendall, and it's stomach pump.
Ostrich.
Bandage.
Exit.
Curtain.
Hydrochloric acid.
Idiot.
Persuasion.
There's a challenge there from Tim Brooke-Taylor.
Only an idiot would take hydrochloric acid.
Yes, I'm going to allow that one, so that brings that
Favoritism.
chain of idiotic words to a merciful end. And we go over now to Tim and Bill, and your word to start you off is rhubarb.
Elephant. Jeep. Egg.
Mother.
But I'm not prepared to go into it.
Yes, I think we can uphold that objection, but we won't go into it. We'll start again now with Graeme. Your word is ferret.
Mandible.
Heartache.
Avocado pear.
Nausea.
Tony Blackbird.
I don't think any comment is required.
Yes. We've already used him.
And I'm going to uphold that one too.
Yeah.
So we go over now to Tim Brooke-Taylor, who's got to start off his succession of words, his team's succession of words, with grope.
Makeup girls.
None. None.
Sorry, order please, we didn't hear you.
A none. I don't know.
Lovely thought.
Paralyze the opposition with that.
Pomegranate.
There's a challenge there from Graeme Garden. You've got to justify a connection
Yes.
between nun and pomegranate.
There's a Sicilian order of nuns.
You can tell he's lying
in the
already.
mountains. This is true.
True.
Who grow all the pomegranates for the mafia. I think that's the connection.
We're fortunate enough to have a nun and a member of the mafia in the audience. who are both shaking their heads vigorously, so I don't have to hold that one. So, Bill Oddie, will you continue with pomegranate, please?
Yes, pomegranate. 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 Pomegranate.
Whalebone.
Microphone.
Miss World.
Green light.
Hamburg.
Challenge from Graeme Garden.
Connection between green light and Hamburg.
Nonsense.
No.
No.
The opposite of green light is red light.
So, that's the end of... Tim and Bill scored 2 there. And Joe and Graeme 1.
500.
1. Which brings us to round 6, and you're not going to believe this in a hurry, but it's another musical round.
Yes.
I'm going to give each team a subject on which they must improvise a 4-line calypso, taking 1 line each. And we're starting with Joe and Graeme.
Thank you.
And your subject for a calypso is cucumber.
I ate a cucumber the other day.
When I'd finished, I felt in a funny way.
My mother said you shouldn't eat that.
Not a cucumber, it's your father's hat.
Sorry.
1 mark for reaching the end of that one.
Intact.
Phil and Tim, your word is armadillo.
In my bedroom, I'm an armadillo.
And I put my head upon a pillow.
And every night, I have a funny dream.
And then I let out an armadillo scream.
I like this one.
We don't, in the rules, we don't have to deal with interpretation. Half a mark for getting me out of trouble, but no more than that, I'm afraid, for that.
Come on, let's have another one. I like those.
We're going to move on now, regardless, to round 7. I'm going to ask the teams to la, a well-known, la la la, a well-known tune, but only on 1 note. And on the performance so far, they shouldn't have any trouble with that. If the other side can guess the tune, they get a point. If not, then the point goes to the singers. Tim and Bill, your turn first. Speak out.
1, 2, 3. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Here it comes.
I would like to be beside the side.
I should have said at the beginning of this round that if the audience here like to join in the chorus, they want their heads examined. Graeme, your turn to la your tune, please.
1, 2, 3. La 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 la.
Got it! That was the German entry in the Eurovision Song Contest. In 1967, 1962, 1964, 1968.
Do you want to...
I'd like to hear that again.
Do you want to start again from the beginning?
In slow
or the end, whichever
Start
is
again.
shorter.
All right.
1, 2, 3. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
It's the one-note samba with one note missing.
I know it's one of Bill's songs, but which one is it? I give up. Does the audience know it?
Does somebody in the audience knows it?
It's the La La song.
Don't be put off by the fact that Joe Kendall forgot the words. Anybody else get it?
Give up.
Well, you stumped an entire room full of people. What was your
Well, that's
tune?
pretty good.
What was your
Oddie,
cue?
Can you sing it properly?
He's made it up.
Could you now sing it?
Can you sing
Can you sing it properly, please?
What was
Give
that?
us a
I tell you,
clue.
it was
See, we
God
can
rest
make it-
ye merry gentlemen. La 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 la.
All right, all right. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Alison, come on.
And heaving an enormous sigh of relief, we come to the last round, which is accent time once again. This time, Joe and Graeme will read the Dr. Finlay piece, which is now being handed to them in Australian accents. Please.
We can't do that. Good day, Dr. Cameron.
Good day, Janet.
We'll take a kipper for your breakfast the now.
Aye, Janet. I will.
And a wee cup of tea at 12.
Oh, hi. I say, cobbler. Where's yon Dr. Finlay this morning?
He's out on his rounds.
Flying doctor. Frightfully noisy.
That was horrible.
The Australians, aren't they?
But very realistic. Now, Tim and Bill, we'd like you to do the little bit of script from Till Death Do Us Part in what used to be called a BBC accent.
Too easy.
An upper class.
Easy.
Which do you want?
I'll do Alf. I'll do the fella.
You do the woman this time.
To the woman, all right? It's more fun.
Oi! Give us a quid out of the housekeeping. I'm going down to the boozer. Yeah! I don't think I've got a quid left. You ain't got a quid. I ain't got one. Well, I spent it all. G. Bennett, Esquire. What have you spent it on, you silly old mule? I bought myself a fur coat, didn't I? A fur coat? I can't afford a flaming fur coat. I know you can't. That's because you're such a mean old pillock. Don't you? Don't you call me names, you old rot bag. You never buy me anything. Where did you get that sanguinary money from, eh? I mean...
If only because it's practically the end of the programme. 3 marks to each of them for that. Brings the score, if you're interested, to Graeme Garden and Joe Kendall, 11. Bill Oddie and Tim Brooke-Taylor, 11.
I think we better have a play-off.
So the winners go forward to meet the staff of the Vatican Library next week. Meanwhile, from me, good night.
Humphrey Lyttelton quite rightly opted out there on behalf of Tim Brooke-Taylor, Graeme Garden, Joe Kendall, Bill Oddie and Dave Lee at the piano. This so-called panel game was devised by Graeme Garden and produced by David Hatch.